Hey guys, this is Backlog Gaming. I'm here today to discuss with you the spoilers review of Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. I went to it last night. It was late. I only got my non-spoiler review up for people to view. This one's going to include spoilers, so this is your warning right now. If you do not want to see any spoilers or have any of this spoiled for you, I want you to off-click of this video and go to my other video on my channel that is the review with no spoilers. Now, I'm going to do a small break here to give those people a chance to off-click. So this is their last warning. So how this starts is you get kind of this comedy aspect. It's really funny. Had everybody in the movie theater saying, I quote you, "What the fuck?" Because everybody thought that this ain't Dragon Ball Z. It was kind of a funny thing that is down in, and it's got like all these stuffed animals playing band, and it's got butterflies, fairies, beautiful fields, beautiful trees, and everything. And then you have like this like little cocoon looking thing that's made, it's kind of white on the outside, it looks slimy, like it's like a person stuck in it. It ends up getting flipped around by a fairy, and essentially what we see is it's Frieza. Frieza is trapped in this cocoon, so everybody starts laughing at that point. He absolutely is just growling. He's pissed, you know. He can't believe that this is happening. This is hell on Earth. So right there starts off the movie great with a kind of confusion, but yet a very, very good comedy part at that. So essentially what ends up happening is Frieza gets brought back to life by the Earth's Dragon Balls. This is done by Frieza's army of people that he was in command of when he died. Now, essentially, when Shenron summons Frieza back from the dead, the body is all cut up because of what Trunks had done in the Android saga when he came back and started that whole saga of the Cell saga going forward. So all these little pieces fall to the earth and whatnot, and in a comedy way, they basically pick them up, put them into a canister, and then haul them off to the rejuvenation chamber that they have essentially developed over time. Now, at this time, they put the pieces back in there, and it kind of fast forwards. Frieza obviously breaks out of this containment as the original form that you've seen at the very start of Dragon Ball Z, you know, of the Frieza saga. So in Form 1. Now, essentially, he is not as powerful. He's not used to this body yet. So he's kind of testing his powers on his soldiers that he had there actually with him. So you get a little bit of comedy aspect there. He kind of shoots somebody out into space, and they make a beam or whatnot, like a bubble around the ship, and seal the vacuum. And then from there, essentially what we see happen is that he says, I need to train. You know, I need to hone these skills, and then I can go kill Goku. I can go challenge him and pretty much wipe him off of Earth and destroy Earth itself, along with Vegeta, and whoever his friends may be that are there at the time. So they kind of cuts away from Frieza at that point, and then we fast forward to Goku and Vegeta are training with Lord Beerus on his planet, but Lord Beerus is actually sleeping, and from there they are training with his guardian that flies him around to other planets that we've seen in Battle of Gods and Dragon Ball Super. So they're training and whatnot, and they're not even on Earth. Now, it cuts to basically some really good comedy between Goku and Vegeta at this point, kind of making fun of each other and cracking jokes back and forth. And then we cut back to Earth. Now, on Earth, this intergalactic sheriff guy, I really don't remember exactly what his name was. I think it was like Paco or something like that, Paco. But he essentially is very funny throughout the whole movie. He is kind of the comic relief, if you actually want to call that. There's other characters in this, as Krillin is in this also. That's a comic relief, and there's plenty of jokes cracked throughout the whole movie and throwbacks. So essentially what ends up happening is we see him trying to get Bulma's attention about Frieza being resurrected and is on his way to the planet Earth with 1,000 troops. Finally, after we get this out of him, she immediately tries to contact, she as in Bulma, tries to contact Goku and Vegeta. Now, how she does this is kind of interesting, is that she's holding up an ice cream like sundae dish like with strawberries in it, trying to basically bribe the guardian of Lord Beerus and get his attention. It does not work right away. From there, what we see end up happening is that they feel Frieza's presence come down on a ship. From there, they blast off towards that ship, and then from there you have the introduction of Krillin, you have the introduction of Tien, you have the introduction of Gohan and Piccolo, and trying to think of who else, Master Roshi went, and then you have the Intergalactic Star Universe guy going. So you have them, they show up and they see Frieza land, but before they get there, Frieza destroys North City, I believe it is, and completely blows it up with one blast of the finger. Essentially, then you see a fight break out between everybody. Kind of this good action scene lasts about a good 10-15 minutes, maybe 20 tops, to where you see this fight occurring between these individuals as the defenders of Earth versus the 1,000 troops. So they end up defeating the 1,000 troops, and then you kind of see Frieza and Gohan with a blow to the stomach, kind of KOing him right away and knocking him down. So from there, they are still trying to reach Goku and Vegeta, and Frieza just claims, I'll give you a few minutes to get them here. I think like 10 seconds or something like that. Something ridiculous. So what we see is Bulma start harassing Frieza to his face, and it's comedy, 100% comedy, 100% greatness. At this point, I was laughing really, really hard at this point of everything that she was saying. Everybody else was. Then finally, she hears back from Goku and Vegeta and tells them that they need to get here now. Goku uses his instant transmission, shows up, and this is where the movie essentially kicks off into the greatest battle of the movie. What it's focused around is that throwback battle that you're going to want to see with Goku versus Frieza. Now, essentially, Frieza powers up to his third form that we've seen in Dragon Ball Z on the Frieza saga near the end. Goku doesn't power up at all. He just stays in his normal hair form, to where it's just the black hair, and ends up owning Frieza pretty much. So the battle goes on and on and on and on, and Goku's just kind of, sparring or whatever with Frieza, landing blow after blow after blow after blow, and blocking blow after blow after blow. You see great action during this scene. The fighting was insane. So you also get to see just really overall great animation. Now, it's a mix of the CGI mixed with the overall animation of him actually drawing, or maybe he was using a computer to render that, but it's mostly CGI mixed with animation. So you get to see a lot of good camera angles, which was great. That's exactly what you want to see, It's just the right angles at the right time, and not too much of standstill. So the fight pursues. They end up, Frieza ends up announcing that he is holding back. Goku's also holding back, so they make a deal to each other that they're going to go full energy levels. At this point, we are introduced to the Super Saiyan God mode, to where he has blue hair. Goku has blue hair. And then Golden Frieza is announced. They even crack jokes in the dialogue about the names that they have given. Frieza does, and says, I'll keep it short, it's Golden Frieza, and then they start fighting. Essentially, Frieza is more powerful than Goku in this form, so Goku is having a hard time dealing with Frieza. essentially what ends up happening is that Goku wears down Frieza, and Frieza can't sustain the power level. Now, at this point, you see Vegeta. Vegeta cracks a joke that he wants to fight essentially Frieza at this point, and Goku says, no, not right now. I spotted the weakness, so you're not allowed to have it. Frieza's ignorant and says, what is the weakness that you recently spotted? Goku then proceeds to tell Frieza that it's the fact that Frieza can't sustain at that power for very long. Now, if Frieza would have waited another 3 or 4 months and been able to master this form, Goku would have been in a lot of trouble, probably defeated in this fight. Essentially, that did not happen, so we have a case where Frieza and Goku start exchanging blow after blow after blow, and Goku slowly shifts the fight. Now, when this fight shifts, you also see some very, very cool things. One of the things I recognize is that Goku does the 1-inch punch, which, if you're not familiar with that, it's where you put your hand on the chest of your opponent, and then you basically make a fist and then punch them in that short distance. Now, he does do this, and it ends up actually hurting Frieza a lot, blast him through a rock and whatnot. That was really cool. You know, there was previous parts where you had the intergalactic guy that's overseeing the galaxy. You had him pretty much like flicking his nose, kind of like Bruce Lee, like stomping on people, doing Bruce Lee moves and whatnot. They had very good tie-ins to that I've seen. But essentially, Frieza appears to be defeated. Goku is, saying like, hey, you can change your ways, you can leave, you can, still continue to live. I won't kill you. At this time, Frieza signals to her last remaining guard as the backup plan, and he shoots Goku through the heart with a ray gun. Now, Goku goes down instantly because it's right through his heart. He wasn't expecting, he let his guard down. So from here, what we see is Frieza continues to beat Goku. You hear him crying out and wailing out in pain. Frieza calls out to Vegeta at this point and says, hey, Vegeta, if you want to kill Goku, I'll give you the top ranking officer in my army. Vegeta seems that he's interested and then says, well, I can't turn that down, and I can't take you up on that offer. So from there, we see Vegeta then power up to Super Saiyan God mode. So he has blue hair also. Now, the power-ups for these were very lackluster. I thought they just kind of did it, kind of like when they mastered Super Saiyan, they just kind of powered up into Super Saiyan. I would have much rather seen like a little bit more of a power-up, essentially, but I mean, it's perfectly fine that they didn't. So, because it's a movie, they only have a lot of time. It's an hour and 45 minutes, and they want to do as much action as they can. I understand power-ups can be action, but there's also, it could be a turn-off to other audience members. So it was kind of the decision, do we have these massive power-ups and then show less fighting, or do we show more fighting and less power-ups? I would go for more fighting, less power-up. So essentially we see Frieza start blasting energy blast towards Vegeta. Now, Vegeta's just knocking these away nonchalantly. It's not phasing him as he walks up to Frieza. He ends up bringing Frieza to his knees. In this, Frieza is punching the ground, is extremely frustrated at this point. Vegeta says, unlike Goku, I will show you no mercy. And we get this good scene to where Frieza's on all fours and kind of looking down, and Vegeta says, why don't you look me in the eyes and admit your defeat? And he has an energy beam that he's powering up, and he's ready to just blast Frieza right in the face, point blank, with it to kill Frieza. At this point, something that nobody's seen coming happens, and Frieza punches the earth and does like an energy blast through the earth, essentially erupting the earth and exploding it. Now, the whole time Beerus and his Guardian are watching this as it happens, they make a bubble to protect themselves. It happened that everybody was by them when this happened. So you have Goku in a bubble, Vegeta's gone, he's dead. You have Frieza's probably still alive because Frieza can breathe in space, and a vacuum can still survive. So ultimately, they're like, well, That was a good decision, but what are we supposed to do? I mean, the whole Earth is just destroyed. The animation was great of it. You've seen the molting going all around. You've seen the fire, molten streams popping up, kind of like Namek was destroyed, but a lot faster and a lot quicker. So the Guardian of Lord Beerus can basically reverse time. Now, he can only reverse time for a short period. He gives Goku 3 minutes. So he's like, I can reverse 3 minutes, and then from there, you have to do something. So essentially what we see everything happen in rewind during the movie. Goes back to where Vegeta is about to blast Frieza, and you get this giant Kamehameha wave from Goku, where he just powers up and he lets loose. Just lets loose. And it ends up killing Frieza. Now, essentially, Vegeta's pissed about this because he took that glory from Vegeta for killing Frieza, you know? So that's where the movie pretty much ends. I mean, there's a joke cracked about how, you know, if we really teamed up together, Vegeta, we could actually defeat anybody. And Vegeta says flat out, like, never again. I will never do that again. And Goku goes, yeah, me either. And then that's the end, you know? If you are going to this in theaters or if you purchase it, you will want to watch after the credits. There is about a 45-second clip after the credits that is extremely funny. I will not spoil that for the viewers because I want you guys to see that, but it is hilarious. I was kind of hoping for a Dragon Ball Super kind of trailer with an American release date, but unfortunately I did not get that. So I will say that it is not that, but it is a little funny clip at the end. So stick around for that. My overall impressions of this is that it was really great. Not very story driven. Comedy elements were on par, and the action scenes were definitely amazing. The animation was amazing, even with the CGI mix. The music, they're still kind of in that whole rock screamo phase on some of it for the action, which I kind of felt like early 2000s to me. I feel like they could have done a better job with the music, but it's not horrible. It doesn't ruin anything with the music that they had. Now, some of the like little things that I enjoyed the throwback. There's a part in the fight with Goku and Frieza where Goku gets punched in the face. Now, this is the exact same camera angle, the exact same style of when Frieza punched Goku when he was Super Saiyan, and Goku kind of like does that head thing with his fist, you know, pounded in, and Goku like slowly starts to turn his head and look at him, and Frieza acts the exact same way, you know. That punch right there, boom, instantly everybody in that theater recognized that punch if they've seen the Frieza saga. Also, the tie-ins to the Bruce Lee, there might have been more that happened that I didn't notice at first, but seeing it, those were the two that I noticed. The flicking of the nose and stomping, that's obviously traditional Bruce Lee. And then the 1-inch punch, which I think is actually a move, but I've seen it in the black and white films of Bruce Lee, to where he does that and he can like knock people back onto a chair and they slide like a good 10 feet. So it was really, really, really good. Really, really, really funny. So if you're going to this expecting a giant story, you're going to be disappointed. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to it. If that's the case, you will get good action. You will get good comedy. The comedy balances the action. It's like the perfect balance. It's not where the comedy's overdone and becomes cheesy and lame. It is 100% on par with the comments that are made. It has throwbacks to the actual series and the past history of Dragon Ball Z and ties in with that very, very well. We also see just funny jokes in general that you don't normally have in these type of films. So he did a really great job. It's way better than the previous installment, which would have been Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. That's still a good movie. I'm not saying that's a bad movie compared to this one, but this one, it takes it up to the next notch. I was super excited after watching this. It's going to be hard to top this in my eyes. I don't know what they would do next. If they are going to do one, we will see. I am looking forward, though, to watching Dragon Ball Super. Right now, I am watching it with subtitles every week that it is released. So, I'm hoping it follows in pace with the comedy elements and the action. If the action looks like that, we're in for a treat, guys. Really, really in for a big treat here. So, basically, that's all I have to say on this movie. Is that I highly recommend it. If you can't go to a theater near you, definitely when it comes out on film, buy it. Either on Blu-ray, DVD, which they'll probably release. I did see something in Japan to where they had the 3D marking on it. I don't know if it's going to be out in 3D or if that was kind of like the CGI elements that they were referring to. If it does come out on 3D, I am definitely buying it. I do own a 3D TV, and that's one thing that I would not mind seeing. So even if I have to import it to get the 3D, I will do that. But yeah, great movie, guys. Just really great movie. If you're a fan of the series, definitely highly recommend you go see it in theaters. Experience with other people that like the same things that you do. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for today. If you want to like and subscribe, feel free to do so. If you want to discuss anything in the comments down below that are spoilers, you guys have no filter here, so you can post whatever you want pertaining to this movie. Because people were warned at the beginning of the movie, beginning of this YouTube video. So feel free to do that. If you guys want, subscribe. Again, I do plenty of anime and video game relating stuff. So from there, I'll see you guys next time.